won't allow that. If the governor fails to make this disclosure after we write him next week, we are going to court for the court to compel him to make the disclosure to us. And we are confident that he will not disobey it. Well, for me, as a citizen of Nigeria and someone who was born and brought up in Ogun State, I believe that the governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, His Excellency Prince Dapo Abiodun, has questions to answer. And that is why for us it is very funny and a bit, humorous that a local government chairman who is simply asking for accountability that, look, some of this money has been appropriated or apportioned to local government areas. Now, why is this money not being released to us? That's the question Honorable Wale Adedayo asked. The next thing that the governor started doing was to start harassing him, to start intimidating him, to start oppressing him, to the point that some of the shameless lawmakers, very shameless lawmakers who are councillors in Ijebu's local government, ganged up to suspend Honorable Wale Adedayo. The point I've been making since the whole tragedy started is to say that, first, we have to commend Honorable Wale Adedayo for not taking part or for not seeking to be part of those that are destroying Ogun State. We have to commend him. Not just that, we have to rally around him. Why do I say this? I say this because this is a lone voice in the wilderness. He could have taken side with those that are, mindlessly looting our resources. He could have decided to say, look, I want to keep aloof. I don't want to say anything. But in Honorable Wale Adedayo, in my respectful view, I see a man that is completely committed to the cause of his people. He's suffering people at that. So when he asks questions, look, some money have been coming from the federal government to local government through the state government. This money have gotten to the state government purse or coffers. The money do not belong to the state government. Constitutionally, the money do not belong. The monies do not belong to the state government. They belong to the local government. So why the question Honorable Wale Adedayo asked is, why are you withholding this money? Because the money rightfully belong to the local government for the development of the local government, for the people of the local government. Why is the resources that belongs to the needy people of the local government, why are they being cornered by some greedy people at the state government? Those are the issues. Now, for a man that have asked this kind of question, which is in furtherance of public interest, why should you victimize that kind of local government chairman? Why should you continue to intimidate him for asking questions in a constitutional democracy? This is why it is deeply amusing when I read reports that some, local government councillors have now gone ahead to suspend him. I've said it again and again, that the suspension of Honorable Wale Adedayo, whether they call it suspension, whether they call it impeachment, the suspension of Honorable Wale Adedayo is not only illegal, it is grossly arbitrary and unconstitutional. It has no basis in law, it has no basis in morality. Why do I make this categorical submission, sir? The reason is simple. One, Honorable Wale Adedayo was not granted fair hearing. Fair hearing under Section 36 of the 1999 Constitution is the foundation of any administrative decision. I've not gotten to the aspect whether the House even have the members of the executive or the councillors, really, whether they have the power to impeach him or to suspend him. That is not what I'm saying. I'm even saying that, assuming without conceding that they indeed have the power in law to suspend him, assuming to suspend him. The point I'm making is that they cannot suspend him without granting him fair hearing under section 36 of the Constitution. You must hear the other side. You cannot just whimsically, maliciously, arbitrarily wake up one day to say, look, we do not like what this very patriotic, honorable chairman, Honorable Wale Adedayo, he has offended the governor for exposing the mess that is going on in the state government that is deeply affecting the people of Ijebu East local government. You just wake up and say, in view of that, Honorable Wale Adedayo should be suspended. No law, I'm saying it again, no law empowers the councillors, whether under the Constitution or other extant laws in the state, that empowers the councillors to arbitrarily, unilaterally, whimsically, and unconstitutionally remove or suspend for 3 months, 3 good months, Honorable Wale Adedayo, without fair hearing. Even if a law has provided for that, it is against the Constitution. It is against Section 36 of the Constitution. If a State House of Assembly, who has the power to make law under Section 4 of the Constitution, makes a law that is not consistent with the provision of the Constitution, that law is null and void, that law is unconstitutional, and that law will be of no effect whatsoever for being inconsistent with the provisions of the Constitution. Even if they say, look, the law was made, as a derogation to the right to fair hearing, which I do not even know of, then the question is that law reasonable, justifiable in a democratic society? Obviously it is not. So on that ground, yes, that very attempt to suspend Honorable Wale Adedayo has no basis in law. It's an attempt in futility. I'm saying again that it is unconstitutional and it is illegal, because you cannot barb someone's hair in his absence. Again, I'm saying that under Section 7 of the 1999 Constitution, the local government chairmen are democratically elected. So if someone is democratically elected, why should councillors just come up together maliciously to suspend someone that is democratically elected? Was he given adequate notice before his suspension? Honorable Wale Adedayo, I know as a matter of fact, within my personal knowledge, was not given any notice. Whether short, whether long, no reasonable notice was given. The allegations against him were not even, presented to him before they went behind closed doors. Just a few of them went behind closed doors to purportedly remove him. You can't do that in a constitutional democracy. A local government chairman elected by the people, democratically under Section 7 of the Constitution, cannot be arbitrarily removed, sir, by a few local government councillors who are primarily loyal to the governor, who is feeling offended because a local government chairman is demanding for the right of his people. So, again, I mentioned that, look, there was a breach of fair hearing. He was never given reasonable notice. And I'm saying it again, that you cannot suspend without fair hearing a local government chairman democratically elected by the people. The voice of the majority, who duly elected the local government chairman, cannot be subverted by a few number of councillors who are more interested in their parochial interest or parochial gains. If some people might make the argument, it's just a suspension. I have said it again and again. Suspension is a punishment. You cannot punish someone that under Section 36 of Section 5 of the Constitution is presumed innocent. Should we say, even out of all the mess that is going on in Ogun State government now, let's say the House of Assembly in Ogun State now comes together, a few number of them are now saying, well, we are suspending the governor. Can the governor be suspended? You impeach, you don't suspend. You impeach, you don't suspend. If you want to impeach, there are processes. If you fail, because you cannot build something on nothing, Microphone and UAC, if you fail to follow the due process of law, then all that you have done, the decision that will be taken thereafter, will be a complete nullity. So look, the point we are making, sir, in simple terms, is that the suspension or the alleged suspension or the purported suspension of Honorable Wale Adedayo is illegal. Not just that, it is unconstitutional, it is arbitrary, it is malicious, it is shameful, and it should not happen in any democratic society. When people stand up to speak the truth, when